Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today we're going to be playing some 16L 2 tabling on Pokerstars. This isn't the start of any particular series or anything like that. It's just you guys ask for live play videos. I don't particularly like doing them much anymore, but if there's a desire for them, especially for Zoom stuff, I'm going to just produce some because, you know, I like to try and please people and produce stuff people want to see. This is not me advocating playing these games. This is not me saying these games are in any way good, and this is not something I typically do myself, but it's what you guys want. So while I keep getting lots of likes and lots of new subscriptions, which I've been getting lately, I'm going to try and produce things that you guys want to see. Thank you very much to all the new subscribers, by the way. I'm trying to get to 1,000 before Christmas. I picked up 17 subscribers in 3 days. I would love it if that continued to be the case and we could get to 1,000 subscribers before Christmas. That would be absolutely phenomenal. I'd really like that. So please do keep subscribing. Not keep subscribing, because once you have, you have. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Please keep hitting that like, thumbs up button. Please keep adding your comments. I'd really appreciate them. I like seeing them. And it's just nice. It's nice to get some positive feedback. I just want to have a quick talk about Sky Poker. I put a goals post on Reddit earlier this month, at the start of the month, saying that my goals were to play a lot more hours this month, a lot more hours of poker, focusing mostly on Sky because they're running a promotion which I thought would bring in more recreational players. That hasn't turned out to be the case. It's just been fucking wall-to-wall regulars the last 3 days. The game's as bad as I've ever seen on Sky. I'm still trying to cherry pick the best ones at peak times, but I'm making this in the morning. I've already looked on Sky this morning. There's like 4 or 5 regulars across like tons of tables and not many fish. I just thought it'd be more productive of me to make a video of something you guys would like than it would be to like just grind some Sky. So that's why we're doing this right now. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And one last thing before we start, sorry for going on so much, I'm still looking for people to work with. I'm specifically looking for recreational players who like aren't like super like highly motivated 150 hours a month sort of people. I actually want to work with people who are like losing recreational players who just want to learn to play like solid tight poker. I don't want to like work with people, or I don't mind working with people, but I'm not specifically looking for people who are already like very good at lots of things pre-flop, you know, got good ranges. I want to talk to people and I want to work with people ideally who we can make lots of good quick ground with, where we can get you going from like being a struggling player to like a profitable player really quite quickly without getting like super deep into the technical stuff, which, to be frank, there's better coaches out there for that sort of thing. So I'm looking for people who have some like fundamental leaks in the game, people who just like lose like pretty consistently and want to fix up the fundamentals. If you fit that bill, if you're thinking, you know what, I wouldn't mind a little bit of help, just get in touch. We can have 1 session, or we can have 3 sessions or 5 sessions. We have tariffs for each. My rates are very reasonable, and I'm having a very decent level of success at the moment. I'm certainly improving as a coach. I'm improving in profiling the right type of people I know I can help, and I think I'm giving better value for money than I've ever given. So if you would like some help with your game and you like my videos, please do get in touch and we can see if we can organise some sessions. So let's go. Oh, card match. Got to get the card match in. We're going to be playing this session with a focus on being aggressive. I'm going to try and play somewhat loose. I'm going to try and like kind of take as many situations as I can where I think we can either steal pots or steal blinds or what have you. I'm not going to be super nitty, but at the same time we're not going to be like incredibly extravagant either. We've been min 3-bet here. We don't like the situation, but I guess we're going to call because of his sizing, and now I guess we're going to fold. Video's probably going to run for around 45 minutes. Not sure I'm saying that because you guys don't know how long it's going to run for because you'll already be watching it. I always say that. Not really much point in saying it, is there, when you think about it? And this guy doesn't fold too many 3-bets, so we're just going to check back with that 8-3. He only got 35% fold to 3. It's a C-bet. And now we're just going to start value betting. Pretty drawy board, so we're going to go reasonably big. Not the best of rivers. If he checks to us, I still think we can get a small bit of value. If he leads out, it's going to be much tougher, especially if he leads out big. I won't enjoy that very much. He's led out for full pot, give or take. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Do we know much about his river? He hasn't got a particularly high river aggression frequency. We're just going to fold there. Everything gets there with the ace. He has lots of better 2 pairs than us. Flush gets there. Unlikely straight gets there. Versus the smaller bet size there, I think we just say, you know what, fucking call. But not when he pots it. That's something I quite often do, by the way. You might have noticed that I sat out of the second table. When I've got a tough decision on one table, I will frequently just sit out of the other one, just to give myself that extra little bit of time and focus to make sure I'm like going through the decision making processes properly that I need to go through to get to a reasonable conclusion. This guy doesn't fold too many C-bets, but we've got a strong range from early position. We have some backdoor stuff. We've got 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush. So we can certainly bet the flop and then decide what to do on certain turns. Like that's a turn now where we're going to definitely just triple barrel. Given that we've got like the straight draw now, we've got the nut flush blocker. And given that he calls 33% of C-bets, I think it's a good spot to try and put big pressure on him. And we get it through, which is nice. So we need to bet really big there on the river. Linde's not going to fold a flush, but he's not going to have many flushes either, I wouldn't have thought. Given that he just called the flop, he didn't raise the turn. If he does have a flush, then fuck my life. But it puts absolutely tons of pressure on his one pair hands. It was like looking to try and show it down. We need to be doing that. Once we decide to triple barrel, and we have like all kinds of like blockers to the nuts, I think we need to make sure that we don't dog out of it. Again, another small 3-bet. Clearly don't love my hand, but need to defend. And given that I've checked 3 times on this board, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're beat here, but we're getting really good odds to call. We're getting like, what, 3 to 1 on a call. We lose to ace-4, whatever. Never mind. We can't check pocket 10 there twice and then fold to like 2 point sum X big blind river bet. It's a small pot. We've managed to keep the pot small. Pocket 10 is going to be one of the best hands we're going to have there. Guess queens and jacks too. Of course, might play it similarly. But yeah, we've kept the pot small. It's a small bet. I hate paying off, but in those situations, we just flick the 2 blinds in and hope he's got the pocket 6s or whatever that's just fucking around. I like getting after limpers, isolating wide, but I think Jack 8 offsuit's just too loose. Do not want to get squeezed here, so we'll 3-bet ourselves with the ace-10 off. It's not exactly a super premium hand, but Cicerone has got like a 6.5% 3-bet. Looks like a pretty standard regular. If we just call it, we're going to get squeezed an absolute ton. I think 3-betting's the best play by quite a margin. My phone's ringing, so I'm going to pause the video. We have a different situation here this time. We have a player in the big blind who hasn't played a hand yet from 10, and someone we're going to have a lot less forward equity against. We could argue that we could 3-bet the ace-jack suited for value here, but my experience of these situations, we just get called a lot, then we're out of position with a hand that hasn't improved too often. We could definitely 3-bet for value, but given I don't think we're likely to get squeezed, I prefer calling in these situations and looking to play post flop against a player I think I'm probably going to have a significant edge against. Like, keep the pot small. Against a good player there, I've been way more inclined to 3-bet, try and take it down pre-flop, etc. But against a weak player who I don't think we have any fold equity against, because when we 3-bet hands like ace-jack, yeah, people say you're 3-betting for value, but deep down, let's be honest, we kind of hope people get the fuck out of the way and fold. That's kind of what we're doing there, so when they don't fold, it's kind of it can bring us a lot of problems against those types of players. Like ace jack, it's cool, it's way ahead of his range. He's a bad player, 3-bet for value. But then this bad player calls, and the board comes down. All kinds of boards that completely miss ace jack, and your hands are really quite tied there. Because I mean, do you really want to be starting trying to bluff people out of position 3-bet pots who have like super wide, super spewy calling ranges? I don't think so. So that's a spot where I would 3-bet versus a smaller open size maybe, or 3-bet versus someone who I thought had some fold equity against. But if I don't have fold equity, I'd rather just keep the pot a bit smaller and play post flop against someone I expect to have a pretty big edge against. Certainly not standard. Certainly some people will almost certainly take issue with it, but I am comfortable with the position that I take in those spots. I think we're going to have to tap out on this turn. I had ambitions of trying to call go full down, given that he's like clearly pretty reckless. But I think the ace has just put the tin hat on my attempts to do this. Sometimes he's just going to bluff here, and we just have to let his bluff work. When I play on Sky, I have quite wide small blind calling ranges because squeezes are way less often, and there's quite often fishing blinds. When I play on Pokerstars or other speed pokers, I try to have like a 3-bet or fold kind of attitude. Going to bet twice on this board texture. I think he can maybe call once with some better pocket pairs that he's not in love with, but will usually fall to a double barrel. So that's the sort of board I would typically like double barrel on. Didn't need to there. Eight two. He's having fun, isn't he? That's a blind we can try and steal with the 8/2 stats. He's got this big open going on this guy, hasn't he? Again, we're not going to defend the Queen 8. But that guy's got got an egg timer over his head. He's going to go broke at some point unless he just decides to leave. So we're going to be hoping to try and get involved with him and be the guy that stacks him. But if he's still around at the end of the video, I'll be surprised. Unless he just keeps reloading. Wasn't the number I wanted. What's with all these super small 3-bets today? Flop a good shot. Min 3-bet, check. I mean, I might be the most paranoid person on earth. But we're going to call this with his fish in the big blind with the 8-7. And the fish didn't come along. But we're not going to... So often he's just going to have like a set of aces or something, or ace-king that he's just wanted to check raise with. We're not going to bite. I think we're going to check raise this small bet here, though. Yeah, fish will do that quite often. They will make small 3-bets and then they'll try and get super, super, super trappy. I mean, it's unfortunate that we didn't manage to hit our flush there, but it's just not a trap that I'm willing to fall into. Just going to try and realise all of my equity, and then if we don't, maybe we can think about, if he checks the river, maybe we can think about making a bluff. And who knows what. But I mean, if you've got a hand like pocket queens, pocket jacks, pocket kings there, it's going to be hard to get them off it. You have to find multiple barrels, and I don't want to find multiple barrels on ace-x against someone at min 3-bet. I just don't think it's a particularly pleasant situation to find yourself in. I'm not sure I'm doing that 1.56. I might as well just fucking 10x it, but whatever. In fact, I think it will going forward. So we flop top pair, good kicker, backdoor, everything. The spot where we could make a small c-bet, but I actually prefer to check back. We don't have a 3-street hand very often. Getting check raise would really suck. If we get check called, we're not going to be loving the situation on the flop, because if we bet this flop, our range is much stronger than if we check back and bet the turn. Then we can get called by some worse hand when we bet the turn, rather than just c-bet in the flop. And he leads out for $2.28. I'm not loving this, but he looks like he might be loose, albeit over a ridiculously small sample. So that's when to have much 5x in his range, so I think we're safe on that score. And now we just have to call and hope he doesn't have ace-jack, I guess. If he has ace-jack, we're fucked, but I mean, we can't fold. And he just has king-queen, so go us. I think our flop check back wonders that. That's like another Another bonus to checking back flops is people just do weird shit on later streets. Not always. I'm not saying it instantly it's going to happen like all the time. People just do weird shit sometimes, and you need to allow them to do some weird shit. Not the wettest board ever, but wet enough where I think we can deviate from our small bet size. 24-6, but we are deep. Big blind looks like a bit of a squeezer. Two aggro players in the blinds. See, normally this would be like a 3-bet, but the guy's playing 24-6, so his range is a little bit tighter. And I don't really want to flat because of how aggressive the blinds are. So it's kind of what's better of two evens. I think flatting is like rather than 3-betting. If we get squeezed, we can certainly see a flopping position against this guy who's deep stacked. So the decision there was never going to be fold. It was, do we go for the 3-bet or do we go for the flat call? Ace check off versus someone who's playing 9/2. Where are you from, sir? What part of the world does that? Germany? Did not expect Germans to have that style. It's going to fold, easiest fold ever against someone who's playing 8-2. As like pretty as Ace Jack is, it's not pretty in that situation. Been some debate lately about where's better to play, Pokerstars or Party Poker. I think if you're a high volume regular who wants to make decent money from like rewards, then unquestionably Party Poker is a place to play. If you don't have a Party Poker account and would like some additional rate back, please do get in touch with me via YouTube or the Facebook group, because I can hook you up with somebody who can get you an extra few percent. Nothing major, but it all adds up. But I think if you're a like semi-recreational player who is never going to make a ton from rewards, so rewards that's like a big part of your poker playing, then I think Pokerstars is clearly a better option. The games are way softer these days, and I never thought I'd say that, but these Pokerstars games are way softer than the Party Poker games are. Which, if you'd asked me that 12 months ago, would I ever say that? I'd be like, nope, that's not going to happen. So it depends where you're coming from. If you're a sort of player who wants to play just a couple of hours a night, Zoom, 1 or 2 tables, then Pokerstars is undoubtedly a better place. If you're the sort of player who's going to be putting in 20 to 30 hours per week of maybe 700 plus hands per hour, then Party Poker is almost certainly going to be a better option for you. I'm fold and watch. He returned a pair, but versus the bet and a raise, I'm going to assume that we're not in super good shape. We're not folding too many 3-bets today, are we? It's not because I like defend too wide versus 3-bets. I just haven't been 3-bet once yet to a size where I felt like we could actually fold. I'm going to peel one here. We're going to attack versus checks on turns and rivers. I think he can have a lot of ace queen, ace king, and just other random stuff. He doesn't have to have a jack here for sure. And if he doesn't have a jack at some point, you would imagine he's going to slow down. If he doesn't slow down, we're just going to fold. It's not a problem. He doesn't slow down, so I mean, he might just be like going to town with 2 aces here, which I think's going to be a mistake when he gets called on this board. But if he is, good for him. Don't think he's going to have like tons of bluffs in his range there. Because it's one of those situations where we're going to call a small flop bet on that board texture just to see what happens on the turn, see if he gives us opportunities to like take the pot away or not. We can see bet, or we can check call or check raise. I think all options are on the table for this I think we're going to start with the c-bet. Start trying to build a pot. But I think check call, check raise, c-bet are all absolutely fine options there. It's hard to get the flop wrong there, really, when you flop as well as that. I stab way less on flops versus these guys who don't have many chips than I do versus other players. It's just a nuance of mine. And we're going to fall to a pot size bet. Go Fall is still in the mix with his huge VPIP/PFR. And again, we've bricked against him. We could do with not being out of position to him a lot. Getting check raised on this turn would really, really upset me. So, for that reason, we're not going to bet. We can certainly call some rivers. That being one of them. And now we just bet fold. I think I bet too quick there. I needed to be taking more time over that bet. It worked out anyway, but yeah, I think I bet too quickly. We have to bluff here. I don't think it's going to have a particularly high success rate, but if we're not bluffing with this, what are we bluffing with? Surprised that he raised. Did not expect the check min raise. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether he calls or min raises. We still lose. But yeah, the snap check min raise wasn't what I was expecting. Glad I didn't pull the trigger on the overbet. That would have been extremely tilting. No, with the 10 jack offsuit, but versus someone who looks like they might be a fish, then. Oh, that should have been a call. That was a mistake. I'm not calling that min raise. I'm willing to give it a spin versus someone I think might be a fish. When we completely brick, we're just not going to get at all fancy with it. Very exciting flop for the Queen Jack. If we had more chips, I would certainly peel. But even when we do improve on turns or rivers, we don't stand to win very much, so just let it go. Holding on here because I'm thinking of 3-betting this guy if he goes for the isolation raise. He looks pretty aggro. He calls, we flop a flush draw. We'll impede with the 6-5 suited. Don't want to isolate, then get squeezed behind and just get blown off our equity pre-flop. So our hand's going to play well in position in a multi-way pot anyway, so we're quite happy with the situation. Super trivial call here. Pick up a good shot. And go with a small turn bet and then a big river bet. This is the plan here. Giving up versus this aggro guy out of position. And we didn't need to go with the river bomb out because both guys just check. Well, I didn't expect that turn bet to work very often. That was just kind of like a probe, see what's going on. If we get raised, we can like adjust our plan. But the plan there was always bet turn, then if we improve on the river, use one sizing. If we don't improve on the river, use like probably a bigger sizing. Versus two players who look like they're going to be pretty exploitable. But the small bet took it down, so we're not going to complain at that. And a very disappointing flop. Out of position versus a tight player who's called my 3-bet, and we've completely whiffed. I'm not going to get busy here. We're just going to pretty much just give up. His range is going to be, you'd imagine, have like a lot of ace queen in it that we're beating that he might check down, like ace queen, king queen suited, and then like a lot of like middle pocket pairs, maybe all pocket pairs, who knows, that he's just not that likely to fold, so we're just giving up, unfortunately. Don't like it, but don't really see what other plays we can make there in that specific situation. Don't really want to get over 50 blinds in pre versus who knows what with pocket nines. It's close, but I think it's a fold. It might even be close. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's not even close. thoroughly disappointing. Flop. If it's this guy, my strategy could, because he is like so, in my opinion, bad aggressive. My strategy is check to him a lot. I'm going to give up a lot of small pots to him, unquestionably. He's going to get to bluff me a decent amount of the time. But I just go full Helmut on him. I go full trap mode and just let him do his thing. When he's in position on me, his style is going to beat my style a lot of the time in a number of smallish pots. But I'm also going to check some strong hands to him too. So pretty much going to check everything to him anyway. I very much doubt I'd have a c-betting range versus him. What's my note say? Basically, it's implying that the guy could be a station. This guy doesn't 3-bet much, 1.6 3-bet, so we can certainly peel versus him. If we had a more aggressive 3-bet statistic, it would have been a 3-bet or fold situation, I feel. That's a big bet. The reason I check raise the King Jack there is, and I don't fully understand it yet, so please bear with me. I've been talking to a couple of guys about these like small c-bets versus like small opens, and people like, so they've got really wide ranges making really small c-bets, like that situation there. And apparently a lot of the solvers are saying that we need to be finding plenty of check raises versus those sizes. And top pair should be falling into that range. Now, I haven't looked at the work myself. I'm only taking that based on what someone's told me. It's something I plan on looking into if I end up ever playing more of these games where it's more of a common situation for me. It's absolutely something I do more work on. But for the time being, I'm just working on the proviso that we should be looking for lots of ways to check raise versus like 1/3 pot C bets, button versus blinds. So check raise in top pair theoretically isn't great, but I think people are saying, or the people who are working with solvers are saying it's good in those situations. So I guess we'll just suck it and see. Need to bet here just to charge any draws that aren't going to bet, but might check back and improve past us with 2 flush draws out there, and the potential for people to have 2 pairs and who knows what else. I think we just need to bet before the board turns bad. He's still here. Go full. We're getting close towards the end of the video, and go full is still here. He's still potting it pre-flop, and he's still got his chips. Fair play to go full. He's exceeding my expectations, unless of course he's reloading. Then he's not exceeding my expectations at all. And a bigger sample on this guy, I would consider 3-betting. If his cut-off open was 33% for sure, I'd be looking to 3-betting more from the button, but we don't know that yet, so we're not going to overreact to absurdly small sample sizes. kind of tempting to open the 6-7 suited, but we're not going to. Given that we're starting this on 150 blinds deep, I don't really want to 4-bet the ace-king and then potentially face a 5-bet, so call and play some post-flop. This gives him in 3-bet and he's likely a fish. Doesn't mean we necessarily want to go just 4-betting ace-king, because if we get 5-bet, we're just creating a pretty moderate situation for ourselves. This kind of looks like he c-bets a lot, but again, being super wary of small sample size, it's only a sample size of 4. One of the biggest mistakes people who find their way to me make is they will make all kinds of like not great justifications for plays they've made based on sample sizes that are just too small to use as a justification for a particular play. Be that either a fold or a call or a raise or whatever. Big blind looks aggressive there. Again, small sample size, but I think there's a chance we're going to get squeezed then. I will just take the 3-bet option. Nut flush draw here. We don't have to c-bet. He's going to start. I actually quite like going for a check raise here, I think. Give him a chance to like stab with some pocket pairs and then put him in like a really tough spot. If he's got like pocket 9s, pocket 10s, things like that here, we're going to put him in a really tough spot when we check raise. And we're obviously just going to call it off if we do get more action. But I think this gets us way more fold equity against pocket pairs than like betting flop and turn and stuff does. It just gives him a chance to say, cool, he's got ace-king, he's missed. Now I'm going to like stab with my pocket pairs to like try and take the pot down. And lots of guys are still doing that when they probably shouldn't, but it still happens. And I know it happens because I've talked to people who do it to know that it's absolutely a play that we can make there, because people will just like bet 4 pocket 9s there and hate themselves for betting or what have you. And for the record, I think I would sometimes when people cold call and we get low boards, I would like check raise with like aces and kings and things there too. For the same reason, people will just like stab. Sometimes they'll stab and call, sometimes they'll stab and fold. But if I'm only ever check raising like over pairs and decent draws, I think I'm creating a pretty good situation for myself. And if it does just check through, well, I don't mind most of the time, because I'm either going to have the best hand or I'm going to get to realise more of my equity. I'm going to get to see turns and things and make flushes. So overall, I'm happy with the strategy. Is it perfect? Probably not. Could good players pick holes in it? Maybe they could. But I think it's a decent enough strategy versus cold callers. Lots of aggressive looking players behind me here. I think we just let the pocket 7s go. So we get into 45 minutes, put a pleasant little session in. Nothing too much has happened to create great interest, but I think we've had enough pleasant discussion points to make it a worthwhile exercise. Ah, that queen's unfortunate. I was going to bet 3 streets small, but now with that, just chop with all his queen X. So I think we're either going to like. I don't think we get value here from a worst hand anymore. So I think we just have to check back and whatever. Yeah, it's unfortunate the queen came. I think we're going to get 3 streets of small value there. Had the board not paired, never mind. Mustn't grumble. Still been a pleasant session. And there we go. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. If you have enjoyed it and you have got this far, please hit the thumbs up. And the more thumbs up we get for these types of videos, the more likely I am to continue making them. Sometimes I enjoy making them, sometimes that was a bit dull. I've enjoyed this one. Hope you guys have too. We'll be back Friday with our general discussion type video. Bye bye for now.